Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Command TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. The Iebc Selection Committee gave the nominees, a list of nominees to the president. And the president is expected to forward the names to Parliament within 7 days for vetting. But I want to zero in on the chairperson of the Iebc, because it is in Iebc that elections are won or lost. Ladies and gentlemen, voters do not count, but the people who vote counts. This is our discussion this lovely morning. So, according to reliable sources, the committee, the select committee, zeroed in on Amadi, the former chief registrar of the judiciary, and Nyai, the son of Charles Nyai. This guy is said to be very close to the powers that be. And if you look at him, you agree with me that he comes from a dynasty. He comes from the ruling class. Nyai was in the government for many years. He understands the system. This is a man who actually chaired the implementation of the constitution. He's the man who was bestowed with the responsibility of ensuring that our constitution was implemented to the letter, clause by clause. But he, when he left, there are some articles up to date that have never been implemented. And a very good example is one on gender rule. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to put one point very clear here. That this son, this guy, our brother, Nyai is the son of Charles Nyai. No, he's called Charles Nyai, and the father is Simon Nyai. Sorry for that mix-up. Yes, he's Charles Nyai, and the father is Simon Nyai. And Nyai and Matiang'i are related. Matiang'i is in the presidential race. Nyai, Charles now, this nominee, who is expected to lead the Iebc, and Matiang'i are cousins. Matiang'i's mother and Simon Nyai, that's the father to Charles Nyai, are brothers and sisters. What do you take? What is your take, ladies and gentlemen? Are we not going to have a compromised Iebc chairperson? And understand this is a man that the government wants to lead the Iebc. What is your take on this? Can he be fair? Can he be actually be trusted with such an important task when his cousin is a candidate and a front runner in this case? I want to go to the second person. This is Amadi. That is the chief registrar, former chief registrar of the judiciary. Between 2014 and 2024, she remained in the judiciary. She remained in the judiciary. She had also worked as a state counsel in the Attorney General's office. Again, when I look at her, I think she also had a private firm, that is Amadi and Company Advocate, which was embroiled in gold scam, but she was cleared by the courts. And she said that once this happened, she had already left the firm when she joined the judiciary. So the court cleared her. But she was accused of a gold scam, defrauding a Dubai business person of 100 million. But the court screened this person. It is also important to note that she worked with FIDA, the Federation of Kenyan Women Lawyers, and she rose to become the Deputy Executive Chief Director, something like that. She also worked as a District Magistrate Court and rose to become a Resident Magistrate Court. That is when she later joined the judiciary. Of importance is that she presided over the oath of office of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in 2017 and William Samoei Ruto in 2022. I want to take you to the contested elections in 2022. You know, this is a lady who was given the responsibility of actually presiding over the sampling of the opening of some ballot boxes. And the way she carried out was not pleasing, if you ask me. She was not fair towards me. In fact, the way she handled the situation, it is something that I have not come to like. And up to date, I think many Kenyans have not forgiven her. So what I think is that Parliament should be very, very careful with these two leaders, because we need to have the trust in Iebc. And Kalonzo is also raising some issues here. So we cannot trust these two leaders. Although it has not been published to the members of the public who will be the chairperson of the Iebc, our grapevine has that these are the two people who are likely to, between them, one of them is likely to be the chairperson. So ladies and gentlemen, once this is done, I think Iebc has a gigantic task ahead of it. When you look at it, the registration of voters has not taken place since 2022. Do you think this is by design? Or it's just a coincidence that we have not had registration of voters? So we expect massive registration of voters, because if registration of voters is not taking place, I think it is William Samoei Ruto who is benefiting, because new voters who are actually Gen Z, who are expected to vote with maybe the opposition, have not been registered. Number two, there are so many by-elections that have not been held. We expect Iebc to move with speed. And I know the government will not be very happy to see these by-elections being carried out, because it will be a dress rehearsal for 2027. Because I expect, even in Taspur Kabodo, where we have a by-election, I think ODM can easily lose. And people, Gachagua is very, very happy, and Kalonzo, they are very, very happy to test the ground in these by-elections. They are also the procurement of very important items by Iebc. They need to be procured. The boundaries need to be carried out. Boundaries of the constitution need to be carried out. Is Iebc going to do this within a short time? In fact, the election is so near. So near. And by the way, I think the economy is not doing well. What we received yesterday was shocking. The country is on a cliff. The country is sliding. The country is headed in the wrong direction. So ladies and gentlemen, between these two leaders, whom would you choose to be the Iebc chairperson? Please let me know your comment in the comment section. Bye-bye.